Hello, I'm Sanjana. My project is Code Genie and this is my second milestone. Let's come to the project overview. My project name is Code Genie. Code Genie is a Visual Studio Code extension. The model that we used for our project is DeepSeek Coder. Let's come to the functionalities. It has four key features: code generation, code debugging, code insertion, and code explanation. Let's see the things that I have learned while building this project. First, I have completely developed a Visual Studio Code extension from scratch. Second, I worked on integrating front end and back end. Third, I learned how to deploy any LLM model into your machine. Fourth, I have spent a lot of time on debugging and testing. Lastly, we have created a user friendly experience. Let's come to the architecture diagram. First, the user gives a question in the form of prompt to the Code Genie extension. This Code Genie extension sends the HTTP request to the code completion engine. After invoking the code completion engine, it sends code to the Code Genie extension, which updates user input. Let's see why we choose DeepSeek Coder when compared to other. At first, we wanted to use GPT-4, but local deployment is not possible for GPT-4. So we choose DeepSeek Coder because it is more user friendly. It supports multi languages and it is used for code generation, debugging, and everything. Let's dig into the tech stack. We use TypeScript to ensure type safety. HTML, CS, and JavaScript are used for VS Code web view development, and FastAPI and UVCon are used for handling incoming requests. Let's come to the deployment. CodeGenie runs completely locally. We don't need any internet to work on it. Lastly, it is very secure because no third party is involved in this. Let's come to the promises that we have made in Milestone 1. Now, the Code Genie is a completely locally running project. Second, we have developed a project which is simple and user friendly. It has the features like generating, debugging, explain, and insertion. We have made a smooth and responsive interface for user. Let's see the challenges faced while working on the project. Managing the model was very tough because handling AI responses and keeping the interface responsive is a very tough task. Next, error handling. VS Code API provides several APIs, but handling and managing errors while interacting with WebView and editor was very tough. As a developer, I must focus on the output and the syntax in which it is gonna provide. Future enhancement. The model must also respond to voice, diagram, and images, not only text. And we are trying to add inline suggestions just like GitHub Copilot, and also trying to generate flowchart for the code. And we are also planning to have a user feedback so the user can rate the responses. Let's come to the code. This is extension.ts. At first, we imported necessary libraries. These libraries are responsible for sending HTTP requests and providing APIs and also reading local HTML files. Let's come to this generate response part. It is responsible for the shape of backend. Now let's come to this activate thing. It activates our extension. Now let's come to the save editor. It is used to know the current editor that we are using. These last generated code is the thing on which their response is stored. Now let's come to the on date change active editor. It checks whether the editor is active or not. Now let's come to our register command. The command is code genie.generate. It invokes it invokes from command palette. Now let's come to this show information message. If 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 a user doesn't open any editor file beside code genie, it sends a message to open a file. Now let's come to create web view panel. We are creating a web view panel beside code genie for to get easy for the user. Next, come to on date receive message. You can see if a user doesn't open any editor, it sends an error message to activate the or detect the editor. Let's come to save editors dot selection. It tells the user to select the prompt uh, that which he typed. Now let's come to the message and fetch suggestion. It sends a web view that the message is selected with the command fetch suggestion. It comes when user presses ask button. This is responsible for fetching suggestions from the model. Now let's come to this const prompt. This is very important because it says that the output of the code must be in the backdates. Now we are posting a request on, and this is our localhost port number. And let's come to the max tokens. They are 500. Now let's come to the last generator. These extract code block extracts the code from our AI, and the last generated code it stores the AI responses in last generated code. If it is successful, it shows a message on it, and if it's not, it tells us that failed to fetch suggestions. And it works for everything, like for debugging and for explanation and for extracting code block and for inserting we are importing necessary libraries. These are useful for providing fast APIs, structured system requests, and for loading LLMs model. This fast API is very important for initializing fast API, and this request model is used for expected input, and the input prompt must be a string, and the number of tokens are 256. And this is the model path that we have downloaded, and the device sets to CPU. We can change it later. Now the model is loaded from the local directory. If it is successful, then it shows a message that model loaded successfully. Now let's come to this post operation. This defines a post operation with endpoint generate, and it receives input in the form of JSON. Now let's come to this system prompt. It is very useful and it guides the model. Let's come to this full prompt equal to system prompt plus request prompt. This is used for sending instructions plus user prompt to guide the model. If the after sending the prompt, it shows a message like full prompt sent to the model. Now the model tokenizes tokens into tensors. Now let's discuss this thing deeply. The max length we know 256 max tokens. Let's come to do samples. It enables randomness. Let's come to this EOS token ID. It is used to tell the model to stop. Now the full output is provided. After fetching the output, it shows a message like code generated. And just ignore this flowchart part because it is for future enhancement. Now let's get to this thing. And now here we are importing UVCon, and we are posting a request. The port we are currently working on is 8000. This 0.0.0.0 is useful for locally accessing. As you can see, our model is running successfully. As you can see, our extension is also running successfully. Now FNFI. Now we have opened the extension development host and also created a file named hello.py, and also have given a question. Now let's Control Shift P, and this is our code Genie.extension, and let's select the prompt. Let's choose the action, get suggestion, execute, and it will take some time, so let's wait. Now we actually got the answer. Now let's insert into the editor. You can see it has been inserted. Now let's do some explanation thing. Select the complete code and choose the action, explain code, and execute it. It will also take some time, so let's wait. Now let's do debugging. I have made some errors in this code, and let's select the entire code and choose the action debug and execute, and let's wait. Now as we can see, we got the code with zero errors, and now let's delete it and insert this code. It's okay. Now let's come to the code explanation. Now let's select the thing, enter the code, choose the operation, execute, and let's wait some time. Now as you can see, our model completely provided explanation for the given code, and that's it. Thank you.